Hi everyone, it's Hans here, the founder of Cappuccino, and welcome to this latest episode of Flat Whites and Insights, a podcast created to allow a space for open, honest and vulnerable conversations with real people, all over a beautiful cup of coffee. We're here in my home, so I'll be providing the flat whites, and my guests, they'll be providing the insights. So grab a coffee for yourselves, take a moment, and I hope you enjoy this latest conversation. Thank you, take care, and enjoy. Jam,
How are we?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
No, thank you for taking the time to come along and have a conversation.
No, I appreciate it.
So before we hit record, we're obviously talking about the season that we just had. Obviously at Didcot Town, pretty historic one. Certain player getting a historic goal together. but yeah, so for those who are maybe listening, watching, who don't know who you are, who don't know who Didcot Town are even, but you're right to give a brief introduction into yourself.
So I'm Jamar. Everyone knows me as Jam.
Yeah.
I play for Didcot Town, obviously at Step 4, recently winning promotion to Step 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's me.
That's it. Yeah, amazing. No, and obviously through Cappuccino, I sponsor the club, and that's how we kind of connected initially, obviously just through watching you on the pitch. But then I think what says a lot about this team or this club is the togetherness. Whether you're on the pitch, whether you're off the pitch, everyone seems pretty connected.
Yeah, the team spirit, everyone involved in the club, it's just a really, really nice place. Like, the people are so good. I can't speak highly enough of the people. Like, I think for me, that's one thing that attracted me to the club in the first place, was just the people and just the feeling you get being around the place. Like, the people are so, so good. And I tell anyone this, like, it's the best change room I've been in.
Yeah.
Best change room I've been in. Can't speak highly enough of the people, cannot.
Yeah, you see that, I mean, even, I know a few of them then obviously went off on that holiday or whatever afterwards, or even just from, being maybe around the bar after the game, and you just see that, or anyway, from my perspective, and I know a few of the boys quite well now. Especially more so this season, I've been a bit more involved, but just, you can tell that it seems like, anyway, from an outside perspective, everyone kind of gets on, and there's like a team where you want to perform for each other.
Listen, the team get on so good. Like, there's no big heads in there. There's no egos in there. There's none of that. The team is literally, I know it sounds cliche, but it's a big family, literally. And like, when I say family, I mean a very tight-knitted family. Like, everyone gets on with everyone. Anyone can call anyone, the phone's going to pick up. Anyone can text anyone, and everyone's going to reply. And like, we do regular things together. We go out to eat together regularly. We go out and enjoy ourselves regularly. We have team nights out regularly. Like, these are the things that keep the tight-knitted group together. And I think it's important. I think it's important as a team to, if you want to succeed and do well, is to have that bond with the players that you're going to be with for the majority of the time. You're going to be at football. You're going to be with them more than you're going to be with your family. So I think it is important to have that.
No, definitely, and I think it certainly comes across there. And I think even, I know myself, I work in an office in a very different environment.
Yeah.
It's still in football. I mean, working at Barks and Bucks, but things you've kind of spoken about there, and socials, or actually getting on and doing things outside of your normal working environment are very important, because you get to know people so much better. And a lot of that comes, or for me, it comes from our manager and like a culture she instills. So something I was going to ask, obviously, Mr. Didcot, Jamie Heapy, what's it like to play under him, and just also maybe the interactions off the pitch as such? What's that kind of management?
That was literally my next point I was going to say. I would kind of say that the main reason why we're such a tight-knit group is probably because of Jamie. Like, the feeling he brings and the way he treats everyone, it's just like, you can't not love him, and you can't not want to do your best for him. Like, he's big believer on making sure everyone's together, and making sure, lads, make sure you go out together and keep that bond together. Like, I feel like that's why, one of the main reasons why we're so tight-knit is because of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like he implanted that and started it. And I think us as a team, we just carried it on.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around the club for so long. I
Yeah.
think the generations of fans, they'll remember seeing him play. And I think it's over 900 games he's played for the club, which when you actually break it down and deep it, that's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
If you play 40 games in a season, that's a long season. He's done that 20 times and more.
It's
It's
unbelievable.
mad when you actually think about it.
Nah, it's unbelievable, and it's credit to him as well
Yeah.
to still be around and still get up every day and still have that love and to want to do well, and like he does want to do well. Like he's on it. He's on it.
Yeah,
When
that's
we're
what
off,
I mean. I think we see, like, obviously the interviews and maybe around the club. I can like that kind of, he's a really friendly guy and he can build relationships, which is so important. But kind of seen elements of that side. If he needs, if something needs to be said, he'll say it.
Yeah, definitely. If something needs to be said, he'll say it. He's not one to not speak. He's firm when he needs to be firm, and he's loving when he needs to be loving, and when a player needs an arm around him, he's a good man manager, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's something I can appreciate as being like a player that kind of needs that man management and to understand someone to trust them properly. So I can appreciate that he's that type of person.
Yeah. That he wants the best for you.
Wants the best for you, yeah.
And all the squad, not just you.
Not just me,
Obviously we're here talking about you and your experience. So maybe somewhere, and I guess it's in any role. I know I'm like this. I need to feel loved. I need to feel valued, and
I think that's important for me as well. I need to feel loved and I need to feel appreciated because that's all I'm gonna give back is love and appreciation. And I'm only gonna do what's asked of me and go beyond that and do more.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I have that baseline of I'm appreciated and I am loved, then you're only gonna get a better me, and we're only gonna have a better relationship going forwards.
No, amazing. So we've kind of just taken off and spoken about obviously Didcot Town, the team there. You mentioned promotion.
Yeah.
So we'll start there, and then I'll maybe go back a little bit into your relationship with football, journey with football. As we're talking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got the medal there.
You
kind of brought that along with you. So we'll have a little look at this. There we go. So what does kind of, even just looking at this, what memories do you kind of get from
to be fair,
it's not mine.
To be fair, I look at it and I still can't believe that we just achieved something like so big. Like from the start of the year, the objective was to be competitive and to just not be like last year, like fighting for relegation. And as it went on, and we realized, wow, like we've got a really good group here. We can do something very, very special. And I think one of the first people who really believed that we could do something special was Sam Bards.
Yeah.
We Parkway away, he gave us a massive speech after the game in the changing room. And he said, like, I've never been prouder to be in a dressing room with these types of quality players. And he believes we could do something special. And after that game, that was the game I realised as well, like, wow, we could do something special. Yeah. Like, this group is a very, very talented group. And then ever since that day at Parkway away, the objective was to go get promoted. And that was pretty much literally the start of the season, I'd say.
It was early on, wasn't it? Because that was FA Cup, wasn't it?
Very early on.
So it's just that belief and that togetherness. And I think that's it. I mean, I would say even myself being involved in the club and as a sponsor, I mean, it's great to be around the club at such an exciting time with such a, not just, I think, talented group of players, but it feels like you said about a family.
Yeah.
I've been myself welcomed so much as well. And yes, a sponsor, but now obviously do the stats and stuff as well. Just try to help out on the club. Like when I first started, I'll be honest, I was like, it's cool to get Cappuccino on the shirts. Yeah. It's cool to raise some awareness of obviously mental health, the cause that we're kind of I talk about, and I just then fell in love with the club. Yeah. And now I'm like a fan. Now I'm there all the time. Now my partner, she's like, oh, back down the club again. I can't help it. Like,
but those are the things. People like maybe in like other clubs and other environments, like those type of things go unnoticed. And I feel like with Didcot, like it's appreciated and they don't go unnoticed. And you do get your credit and your props and your love for doing it. And I feel like those are the difference makers to making someone want to come through the doors.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yourself, like
Yeah.
now you're a big lover of the club and wanting to be there every day and stuff. And I think those are the reasons why, because they don't go unappreciated.
Yeah, you feel that kind of, like we said, about feeling valued, feeling so, and
Yeah.
welcomed, and not just for players, as you say, sponsors, because it's important. Like, tough times financially for everyone.
Yeah,
Clubs
definitely.
involved. I mean, from my day job, I know how tough it can be for
Yeah,
clubs.
definitely.
But yeah, it's they look after their people.
Nah, they do.
And that's amazing. So yeah, so it was a 1-0 win. Obviously,
Yeah.
you scored the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
Being a Stato, first thing, as soon as I saw you pick up the ball, I was like, I don't think he's taken a penalty this season. So, but then from our conversation, I think once we made the playoffs, and you told me, you were like, that's it, we're getting promoted now. And I knew that kind of belief that you'd had there. So when you picked up the ball, I was like, yeah, it's like meant to be.
I'll tell you a funny story about the penalty. So like early on, like in the season, me, Seth, and Taylor had a conversation, and we was talking. We were saying, imagine if we got to the playoff final, and a penalty came up. Like, who would step up and take it? And I said to Seth, do you know what? I feel like I would step up and take it, and I don't feel like I'll just step up and take it. I'll take it and I'll score. And I believed it.
Yeah.
And I believed it was going to happen like that. And I said it months before it even happened. So I felt like when that penalty came, it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
There was
just
no
one of those.
one else that could step up. It was just meant to be.
Especially even, obviously, I know Baz normally would take,
Yeah.
Connor would normally be the penalty taker. So again, like what you're saying about, it's meant to be that conversation you had in that moment, and then
Literally.
it fell to.
Nah, when I got that ball and
yourself.
to step up in that moment and to carry the team and for everyone to trust in me to even take it, I felt blessed. I felt blessed.
Yeah.
To be fair, everyone always speaks to me as like, how do you feel about it? Was there pressure? Not in the moment. In the moment, there was no pressure. Like, I didn't feel any pressure. It was after. I was like, wow.
Then you realise
Then
what a big moment that was.
I realised what a moment it was, and wow, I know how them moments could be pressureful. Like, how much pressure could actually come from those type of moments.
Yeah,
It was literally after. But nah, it's happy.
Like
It's
you
happy.
say, you believed it, and you
Believed it, over the moon.
Yeah, and it went in, and there you go. That was the difference. And on that day, obviously when the full-time whistle goes, I was kind of watching with the subs and the dugout, and I remember kind of it's on the footage. I kind of ran on, like, saw the huddle, and then I think first but I saw you were kind of on the halfway line.
Yeah.
And you were on your knees.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't mind me saying, like, you were in tears on your knees on the pitch. And I just remember running over, just giving you a hug, and in that moment, it was, what was that moment like when the full-time whistle went for you?
It was special because I just remember, like, from very, very early, two people that really believed that we was going to do it was me and Sam Bard, and I preached it. You can ask the team, I preached it throughout the year.
Yeah.
Training, every match day, that's the mentality we got to have. And not just have that mentality, believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it. And I believed it from day one, basically, and I believed it. And in that moment, I just felt like, wow, like, to be fair, I felt like God really blessed us. I thought, wow, like, God is really there, and the blessing is really there.
Yeah.
And that's what made me cry. That's what really brought me to tears, was that the blessing that we got, and the blessing that I got to obviously have this special moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, amazing. Nah, what a great day. It's crazy to think it was like, well, I know as we're having this conversation, pre-season starting again next weekend. It comes around quick. There's not much time. Or even I was asking you how your summer was, and I mean, you were saying there's not really been much time off.
Yeah, I haven't really had a summer. Like I said to you, we got promoted on the 1st of May, and I went back in the gyms in the 12th, 13th of May, so I didn't really have a summer, and I've been in the gym since then till now.
Yeah.
Haven't stopped. So, yeah.
Just working
hard. Working hard. We got to stay up there now.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Now we're there, we got to stay there.
But no one would have even given the team a chance.
Oh, no.
At the start of the year.
No way.
I don't think anyone believed it.
No way.
Even the club, and like you say, maybe from that Parkway game when Bard's kind of said it, the squad believed it, and that's the most important thing. Because you're the guys who are out there
to do it. Yeah, I felt like in the past, I felt like that's what let us down, was mentality of people around us, not us as a changing room, because us as a changing room, we're very well together, and we kind of listen to us and the right people who we need to listen to. But I felt like in the past, like it was the people around us that kind of
like maybe letting those external voices in a little bit.
letting those voices in a little bit. And I felt like that's one thing we done different this year, was not believe that. Even though I don't think even the club, I don't think they believed we was gonna do it.
No,
At the start,
I don't think they did.
I don't think they believed we was gonna do it. And I felt what made the difference was us as a team, and me preaching it so hard. I preached it to everyone, the chalks, everyone. I preached it so hard, and I feel like that's what made the difference.
I think it shows, and not just in football. Obviously, there'll be people watching this who are into football from my networks, and really interesting to hear like an insight from a player on a pitch, because no matter what level of football you play, to be able to step up in a playoff final, take a penalty, that's a pressure moment. It's definitely externally, and to then the feeling of scoring a goal and your team getting promoted, it's to hear it from your perspective is really cool. And I mean, I was wondering whether to even mention my penalty in that chat, but even I felt pressure then, and I was like, oh no, I'll watch it back, and on the fact that it managed to get caught on camera.
Oh man!
But yeah, that was, even though we talk about the club being a family, I think that day is another example of that. Obviously, like myself and Hutch, kind of
that day, I remember, like those are the things. Like I haven't been in many teams where they do stuff like that.
No.
And do things like that to bring everyone together, not just from the first team up, just from first team all the way downwards. Everyone was there, and I just couldn't believe it. I don't think I've been a part of a team that's done that and done stuff like that.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Other than my penalty, but anyway, I'll move swiftly on. But so yourself, we've spoken about Jamar, the Didcot Town player. I want to talk a little bit about Jamar, the man. When did you fall in love with football, or when was your earliest memory of football?
I remember I started football very, very early. I started from the age of 3. I kicked my first ball when I was 3, and I joined my first team when I was 5. So my earliest memory was when I moved from Rose Hill to Marston. I signed for a team called Marston Saints, and I scored my first goal. And that's when I realized, wow, like maybe I could play. Maybe I could do something here. But I'd say that's my first memory.
And that's scoring a goal, and probably the emotions, the joy, kind of the team all around you.
It was more the joy and the feeling I had with the ball at my feet. It was just it just felt right. It felt right. It didn't feel like I was trying to do something or force something. It just felt like
amazing.
This is my calling. This is what I'm meant to do. Kind of thing, and that's what I kind of remember in that moment.
So it's been something that as you say, from as early as you can remember, just a passion and something you enjoy doing. And and I know obviously I see your dad at quite a few of the games. He loves it. He's so proud of you. You can see. I'm sure you know. I'm sure he tells you. But seeing him, and he's like, "That's my boy."
He's
always with a beer in his hand.
He's always got a beer. He's always in high spirits and good mood. And he's a big believer. He's a big supporter. Should I say? Sorry. He's a big supporter. Comes to all my games, and he has done from the age of 5.
I was gonna say, is that something that he's been constant throughout that kind of
constant. Doesn't matter what he's doing. On a Saturday, he's there. He's there. So credit to him. To be fair, he's been up and down the country with me. He's been a few places with me. So credit to him.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing, and even just seeing you talk about it there and like you're smiling. Like,
I'm happy.
It's like you say that.
I'm happy to have that, and fortunate and lucky and blessed.
No, amazing, and I think it's actually really interesting hearing you kind of talk about that. I mean, for myself, like I loved football from quite a young age. But neither of my parents were into football. They didn't like football. So I mean, they would take me to games and things. And I was went from young when I was playing, but then maybe wasn't the same, because almost like afterwards I would want to, if I'd done something on the pitch and I thought like I'd done quite well. And I was almost, maybe afterwards I was like, oh, how did it go? But it was almost a bit more like, oh yeah, well done. Like wasn't kind of engaged. But then it's interesting, and I think being given that space, to be you and like a passion that you've got. And I mean, it's something that I've spoken about in previous episodes and on this podcast, like where my parents as well, like they split when I was like 10.
Okay.
So I've not like I get on well with my parents, but maybe not at like that deeper level.
Yeah.
So it's like no, it's just really lovely like hearing you kind of talking about that connection you got with your dad.
Yeah, I feel like when I started, like my dad and my mom didn't really understand football, and they didn't really kind of get it, and I felt like they kind of understood it as it progressed, and they kind of saw that I had a little bit of ability to do it.
Yeah.
I felt like my mom started to learn and take more interest, and actually started to study the game. I think my dad started to take it serious when I got picked up on my first team when I was 10.
Okay.
So I got picked up when I was 10 by Stoke, and I felt like that's when my family started to realize
he's got something.
and start to study it a bit more. But yeah, I feel like the relationship with my dad, the Saturday is the time we just have together to just talk football, see football, because we don't really see each other much in the week because he's a busy guy and stuff, and I'm busy. So Saturday is that one day that we come together.
Amazing. No, and I know family is important to you. We were kind of talking also, and actually I think I remember when you put up like a post after like promotion, and like obviously the shirt like number 2. We were saying you kind of made that fullback position your own.
Yeah.
JS2. There you go.
Yeah.
We got SH9 and then we got JS2 as well now in the squad. But yeah, that shirt, and I think you at the end of it, something that I noticed and I thought was, like, stood out to me was where you just said like kind of it's all for you, mum.
Yeah. So I'd say it is all for my mum, to be fair. She's sacrificed so much for me to be in the position I am today. And I felt like she's, health-wise, she's not in the best of health. And so I feel like this is why I kind of carried a passion to just try and do well for her. And one thing she always says to me is her dream is just to see me be a professional. And I feel like that's the one thing I got to do to carry out my mum's wishes. And yeah, I felt like that's the main bond of me and my mum, is her just sacrificing so much for me and me realising it and appreciating it so much. And my mum is everything to me. Everything to me.
And
the most important person in my life, hands down.
No, amazing. I can see even like looking like a little bit emotional talking about it now. And it's lovely.
It does make me emotional talking about it, talk about my mum's health and stuff. And
I'm sorry to hear that as well.
The struggles she has to go through day to day. But she's a strong woman, and she's a good woman as well. She does a lot for me. Like I said, sacrifice so much. Comes to my games when she can. When she finds a little bit of strength, she comes to my games and she watches all my games back. She always calls me downstairs. Jal, come downstairs. We got to watch a game.
That's amazing. So it must have been amazing as well having. Like, I know the 2 playoffs where they were streamed. Whether I don't know if she was there on the day.
She was there. She was there on the day.
Even for other people, maybe.
I've got a massive family. I've got a massive family back in Jamaica, so had some of my Jamaica family watching it. Had loads of friends and family watching it everywhere. So it was a big moment, and I felt like my mum being there as well gave me that extra push and belief. Because in my whole family, I've been preaching to my whole family like we was gonna get promoted. I preached it to my whole family as well, not just at the club. When I went home to my day-to-day life and things I'm doing in my day-to-day, I preached it to my mum. And I think one thing that on that day in particular, that gave me a massive push and made me overcome a little mental barrier was my mum. She called me down in the morning, and we sat down and we spoke for a couple minutes, and she done a prayer for me. And we sat down and we done that prayer together. And I just remember walking through that door, I had no worries after that. No worries. And when she told me she's gonna be there, I just thought, wow. I was just at ease. I was just at ease. Just at ease.
Nothing was going to phase
Nothing was going to phase me that day.
With even the penalty where you're saying it wasn't till after. Like in the moment you didn't feel the pressure. And that's actually, hearing that from yourself there. And again, like, sorry to hear about that. Stuff,
okay.
But the fact she's there on the day. And when we're saying about it's meant to be, I mean, it really, everything is just.
It was
like,
really
it feels
meant
like
to
it
be.
all came together. And for her to be there on the day must have been really special.
So special.
So I love,
one of the greatest memories, and one of the memories me and my mum will have for a very long time. And even now, she still has the shirt at home, signed by all the players, managers. She has the shirt at home, hung up in her living room. She's proud of it,
Yeah.
and I'm proud that she has it and she's proud of it.
And
so,
and like
so
memories
yeah,
for her and that joy for the whole family.
for
Not
whole
just yourself.
family, yeah. So yeah,
It's all worth it, isn't it?
all worth it.
That travel is
It's all worth it. It's all
Yeah.
worth it. I'll do it all again.
No.
I'll do the whole journey all again.
No, amazing. No, thank you. And so we kind of touched on there, yeah, family and how important family is. And you mentioned you had like some family like back in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I know on the day when you had that like Jamaica flag, so I can
Yeah.
see it again. Like how to say you're like
Yeah.
proud to maybe like your heritage there. And
Yeah.
do you go out much? Have you been out? At
Yeah,
all?
so a little bit about my background. I'm
Yeah.
obviously Jamaican. My whole family's Jamaican, and
Yeah.
I've got a massive family. Got a massive family in England and back in Jamaica. Obviously, my stepdad as well, who's recently just came from Jamaica to England to live here. So he was there on the day as well with my mum. And yeah, Jamaica is just a big part of me, and it's just my culture, and I love it. I love Jamaica, and I always say to everyone, England is like my second home. Jamaica is like home to me, and I used to go regularly every year. I haven't been for the last 2 or 3 years, but I think another thing as well. One of the proudest moments in my football career as well is representing Jamaica. I represented them when I was under 17.
Amazing.
So that's one of the proudest things in my career that I've done today. To wear my national shirt and play in that stadium and play in front of my fellow Jamaicans was really special and something I cherish and something I hope to do again at senior level in the future.
Yeah, well, you're still young. It was only before today when I found out how young you are. So
Yeah.
only 22.
Everyone thinks I'm like 26, 28. I'm 22. I'm very young.
Don't worry.
I'm so young.
Look at what I look like. Everyone thinks I'm about 35. So. But no, 22, and that it's interesting. Like 22. So again, we're talking about things maybe being meant to be, right? So you're 22 now.
Yeah.
Were you 22 on the day of the playoff final?
Yep.
Yeah, so 22 is the number I've got on the back of my shirt.
Yeah.
And 22 is my favourite number.
Wow.
Because, or for me, 22 is a significant age.
Okay.
Because that's the age slightly less, say at the time was less positive than say winning promotion at that age. But that's the age I was introduced to like kind of mental health. It's when I had my kind of breakdown and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, or I call it my breakthrough as well as my breakdown. Because up to that age, I was trying to be like academic and trying to be like doing my PhD and in the labs, and that was all my self-worth. Like was I'm the smart guy in this. And then after I had my breakdown at 22, I feel like I kind of have started living from then. So that's why it's my favourite number, because I think everything from then onwards is almost like a bonus, because there were times I was in dark places. So 22 could have been the end.
The end, yeah.
So yeah, again, like just thinking 22 is a
special
number.
one. Yeah, nah.
But so you still got a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time, and I feel like me knowing you for a short time and seeing you, I feel like you've done very, very well, very, very well for yourself. Not just from what I've seen in the club, and just what I see on a day to day. So credit to you as well.
No, thank you, mate. Yeah, it means a lot. Yeah, it's and I think finding the club or football or this cappuccino and like being able to talk and be a bit more open is just helps me. It's easy as guys, we bottle a lot up. So.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well. I think it's important to spread that message and to let everyone know it is okay to speak. I feel like us as men, we suppress things a lot. And I feel like it's good to educate people on these type of things, especially people like me. I want to learn about these type of things. So I'm someone who's like quite boxed off to these kind of things. I don't really understand. So I feel like when you speak about these things, it's good education and good for me to learn and know and sympathise and try to understand.
No, thank you, man. Yeah, and I think that's for me, being involved in football is a passion of mine. I've loved football. I'm not going to be a player anymore. So you saw that.
I got some training tips for you. Don't worry.
But being able to still be involved in a sport I love, but also football still. I mean, I know there's a big push in like women's football and it is growing, but say you look around like Didcot, or a lot of the audience, or even players, like even there, you talking about educating, like if I'm sponsoring teams and maybe it's an audience that wouldn't normally be exposed to those kind of conversations. Yeah. So it's a cool kind of bringing my two passions together and just meeting cool people and So,
Nah, it's good. It's a good journey.
Yeah.
And good to have you with us.
Yeah, it's all good.
Wouldn't want you anywhere else.
Oh no, this is what I say. It might not be exclusive now. No, potentially looking at definitely like want to be involved at Didcot and stay there, but have been looking at potentially some other local clubs, just in terms of getting the message out there more.
Yeah.
Didcot will always be,
number one.
Number one.
Please,
Yeah.
Please.
And that's on record now. Yeah. Didcot's always number one. But just if there's other clubs that, and it's quite nice because clubs have approached me now.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Like they've seen what I'm doing with Didcot,
That's
and they
good.
said, we want to maybe see if we can have you on board and stuff as well. So that's really cool. And
that's really good. Like I said, you're doing really well for yourself, and I think you should continue. And if you can branch out. I feel like the message is important more than anything.
Exactly.
The message
Like
is
whatever
really
club
important.
you play for, team play, there's some things that are more important.
Yeah,
than football.
definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely.
No, nice. So faith is something that you mentioned there about your mum saying a prayer for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned when Didcot got promoted.
Yeah.
It was almost what made you emotional was realising how blessed you felt and God's presence. Is that something that, again, has been in your life since you've been very young? It's kind of through family?
That's been in it from we was born. My whole household is a Christian household.
Yeah.
That has just been installed in me from young, and that's something I still want to get to the depths of. Like, my mum is a devoted Christian, and she knows everything about the faith in and out. She devotes herself to it. She reads her Bible 5 times a day and stuff like that. And I ask her something about the Bible, she can tell me without even looking in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like as time goes on, that's something I really want to do. I want to educate myself and be in that depth. But for me, it's the faith and the feeling I have when I do give God the thanks, and when I do have these conversations with God. I feel like it's there. The presence is there. The presence is there.
Amazing. No, it's really cool. So I'm not religious myself.
Yeah.
But it's just really cool to kind of learn about, or for me to educate myself as well. Like, I'm very big on, everyone have different faiths, religions, different ways of being. But just trying to like learn that. So I would say that I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
Okay.
So definitely since I kind of had my breakdown and maybe was able to do a bit more self-reflection and kind of, I'm trying to get better at kind of meditation and things like that. And I guess prayer is a form, well, you talk about being present, present, and obviously the presence of God, but almost those times just where you can kind of just slow down and really think about what's important.
Definitely.
So for me, as I say, probably a bit more spiritual, or even when I'm saying like, oh, it feels like it was meant to be. I think I definitely believe in that kind of like the energy. And if you kind of, if you can make something happen, if you can like kind of, if you believe it.
If you believe it, you can make it happen. Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you noticed that before every game, I don't step over that white line without praying.
Yeah.
Do not do it. Do not do it.
Because I think I remember there was and it was, for me, it was a cool photo because it had obviously Restore on the back of the training shirt. And I think it was in black and white edited or something, but there's a picture of you before you step over the line.
Yeah, there is.
Saying your prayers. And I think I remember you saying that was one of your like favourite photos because it's just, that was, I guess, in essence, that photo is you, right? And what's important to you.
I think that is my favourite picture. I think that is my favourite picture because that is me. That is me. I carry that faith with me for my day-to-day, and I will carry it with me for the rest of my life. So that picture is my favourite picture.
No, and I love the fact because you are just in the moment. You don't know it's being taken.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of photos of you after we got promoted. And I'm sure the rest of the squad will be watching. If anyone watching this, they'll be like, oh, you're not going to mention TikTok and all that. But,
Sam Barnes would be on me. Sam Barnes would be on me about the TikTok.
TikTok.
Jay Gapper, he would be on me. Craig Pops, he would be on me.
But no, that's why I think I love the energy afterwards, or like all the, and it says about the community and the family, like the kids all wanting photos, taking penalties, and that feeling loved and part of the community. People asking for autographs and stuff like that.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff, especially the kids. I'm someone who really loves kids, and I felt like if I didn't do football, I probably would want to work with kids like with more in depth. But because I do football, I'm so busy with other stuff, I can't really do that. But I really do like love kids and stuff like that.
And
So
it's
that's why
for them, it's the memories. Like
yeah,
they don't, and I think that's what I think the club can maybe do more of, and I think they're trying to is bring in the youth and the senior team a bit closer together, and like for those kids being at a live football game and seeing like the team get promoted or the team do well, and then the opportunity to interact with the players after, and that's maybe what's lost at like the higher levels now a little bit.
Yeah, I think at the higher levels you don't get to interact with the players and the team like the way you do in these type of environments. Like everyone's in the bar together, like we're all together. It's not separate. There's not like a private exec where you go up and there's VIP. Like everyone's
You
together.
got your little table with a little notice reserved for playing stuff.
Yeah, everyone's together, and I feel like that's why I never itch to give my time to the kids, and whenever they ask for a picture or an autograph or anything like that, and I always do it, even if it's gonna make me 2 minutes late to be inside, or 2 minutes extra to go outside. I'll do it because I know as a youth, those things are important. Those are the things young kids look up to and think, wow, someone does take an interest and someone does look at me. Because I know when I was a kid, that's how I felt. I thought, wow, I don't really have much people around here that I really can go to like that, other than my family and my older brother. I felt like, wow, like, is there anyone that's gonna take interest in me and give me a little bit of time a day? So I feel like that's why that's important for me. I always do it. I feel like it's important to do for the young kids because they're gonna be the next ones. They're gonna be the next people that's gonna come and do it.
Yeah, and I think it's for the club and that they can only encourage that because again it's just that making people feel connected and it shows like what football can do. And again, it's a cliche, right? People talk about or even like our work strategy, right? It's connecting people, changing lives. Because in a nutshell, that is what football can do.
Literally, it is what football can do, and I feel like it's done it with me, and I feel like I feel like it's one of the biggest things in football, other than obviously playing the game. I feel like the connection it brings and the change it can do is massive.
Almost that being a part of something.
Oh, it's massive. So massive.
So something that I think I do want to ask you from a player's perspective. So we've spoken about the power of good that football can have. There's obviously a lot of the flip side. Football has a reputation. Football has a reputation for kind of, you're out there. Even at this level, I mean, I see some of the Didcot fans giving it to
big
players.
Ones.
Giving
the big ones.
And sometimes, obviously, that's banter. Sometimes it crosses the line. So not necessarily a pleasant thing to talk about, but you see like the Vinicius Junior thing. You see that kind of thing. So, and again, it's very. We talk about the power of football. There's also obviously all the challenges. Particularly when it comes to maybe people who look different, or we talk about like things like that. So, is that something that was a challenge or a barrier growing up in football, or were you just it was football and people loved football?
Yeah, it was a barrier. It was a barrier, and I felt like if you're not really strong as an individual, it can be a bigger problem than it may be looked to be. I felt like growing up, like it's hard to get the same type of appreciation and the same type of level field. I felt like me growing up, I had to do 10 times more than the other players and stuff like that. So I think it is a big difference. But I feel like now it's kind of changed a bit. It's probably not as much as an uneven leveling field, but I still think it's still there. I think it is still there.
It's still there, yeah. And I think thank you as well. And I know it's not always like a pleasant thing necessarily to talk about, but I just think, I can obviously, I know I will never be able to relate to that kind of challenge. I mean, I'm a white, heterosexual, middle class male. Like, I don't feel like would be able to experience discrimination in say the same way. I mean, I felt it in an all boys. I went to an all boys school. The closest I felt is a very, not comparing these really, but and I was all basically felt different because I was emotional. And that was why probably then I bottled things up. It ended up to me breaking down. And so, but even I know I wouldn't be able to relate. So I just think it was something I just kind of wanted to ask. But I think you're right. Like I say like I use like the Vinicius example, but England's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like it still
No,
unfortunately
yeah,
happens
yeah.
at games, but like
No,
you say,
it
I think
does
it is
happen.
moving in the right direction. And
Yeah, I think to every good there is bad, and I felt like that's just one of the bad things. That's just in football that it's there and it's powerful as well. That it makes it worse. That it's so powerful, and it is big. And it happens on big scales, and it happens from our level lower down all the way up. And I feel like it gets worse the higher you go up. I feel like it gets worse and worse and worse, because I felt like when I was at Reading and I was signed at Reading, I felt like that's when it was a little bit more at its peak a little bit. That's when I really felt the discrimination a bit. And then came into non-league football. I feel like it was still bad, but I don't feel like it was that bad as in a professional
it's in the
environment.
professional game, yeah. I wonder if it's that more, I don't know, exposure or bigger fan bases or more pressure, or was it more like just environment from within teammate, like dressing rooms?
I think it was just a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I feel like it was from within, that's not really being accepted a little bit, and from the people who come to support, just not really being accepted. So I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I feel like that makes it harder when it's within. When it's within, it's a little bit harder than without, because without you can ignore. You're not really gonna be around them too tough. But I feel within, when you're with them day to day and in and out, and you can kind of like notice the discrimination, and I think it makes it a little bit more harder.
Yeah, I guess if you feel it's not just, and obviously no discrimination is acceptable, but if it's not like we said about even the Didcot squad, you can kind of maybe shut out external voices. When it's maybe directly having an impact on your day to day, or people that maybe are making decisions about your future or or your playing time, then it's a whole different
it's a whole different
thing.
scale.
But no.
But yeah, there's no worries with Didcot. That's never happened here.
Yeah.
It's like I said, the people are so good, from the people who are in the dressing room with us to the fans.
Yeah. It's a big family, like you say.
It's a big family, literally, and I feel like I'll say it again, I don't feel like I've been in a better place, environment-wise, than Didcot.
Amazing. No, thank you. I really appreciate that kind of insight as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I realise we're probably coming to about an end in time. I feel like we covered some good topics, had a good conversation. I want to finish with a question that I've asked on every episode, or tried to ask on every episode. So, what does happiness mean to you?
Interesting question. What does happiness mean to me? I feel like happiness to me, if my mom's proud and my family's proud, then I'm content and happy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my happiness. If I can go home and my mom's happy, I can do something and my mom's happy, then I'm content, and I think that's where my happiness stems from. And obviously, football is my happiness. I love football. If any opportunity comes up to play, I'll play. If I can play 3 times a day, 3 games in a day, I'll play.
Just want to play football.
I just want to play. So I feel like that's my happiness. I think that's what happiness means to me.
Yeah. Amazing. No, appreciate it. And again, thanks for taking the time today to have a conversation, but also, I guess on behalf of like anyone who's involved with Didcot, thank you for everything this season as well. And like you're saying about that moment and that day, that'll be remembered for a long time. And
that'll be remembered for a very long time.
Special to be a part of the club, and it probably maybe even now where it hasn't sunk in a little bit. Give it like 5-10 years and people are still talking about it. That's when
I feel like now, to be honest, I don't really feel like it has sunk in. I feel like I can understand the moment and appreciate the moment, but I don't feel like it's sunk into the point that wow, like it's something that's going to be talked about in 5-10 years to come. But yeah, it's coming. For sure, it's coming for sure.
It's been a pleasure, and it's really awesome to kind of hear about a bit more about yourself. Like, Jamar the man, outside of Jamar the footballer.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to come talking to you and hearing about you as well. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest episode of Flat Whites and Insights, and I really hope you gained something from that conversation. I know I certainly did. It would mean a lot if you can like and subscribe on whatever platform you may be watching or listening on, but also if you head over to Instagram and give me a follow at Cappuccino. This is the best place to contact me, but also see the latest developments on the platform as we look to increase awareness of mental health through my passions for coffee and football. In addition, if you've heard something that you can relate to or you want to talk about a little bit more, feel free to message me on that platform. But also, if you fancy coming on yourself and having a conversation, then do let me know, because I'm always keen to connect with new people and get insights into other areas and other passions and other challenges that I might have no experience of myself. Thanks again, and I really hope you tune in for the next episode. Take care of yourselves. I've been Hans. Thank you.